Today, we're going to dive into 5 things everyone needs before they're fully going to commit. Now, this might be personalized. However, I do want to say this. I invite you to take down these 5 things and ask yourself, is this the makings of a solid relationship? Is this the makings of a grounded relationship? Is this the makings of building a friendship? Is this the makings of genuine heart-centered intimacy? Well, let's dive into this today. Now, before I get into it, I want to read you a blog post I posted a few days ago on my channel. It's going to take me about a minute to read, so just give me a second. Here it is on Instagram and also on Facebook, but then also on YouTube. And the post goes like this. The problem with modern dating might not be the apps, the algorithm, or the ghosting culture. It might be something much simpler. We jump into physical connection long before a genuine friendship has a chance to breathe. Physical attraction is easy. It requires no skill, no character, no discernment. It's dopamine on a platter. But building a friendship with someone you barely know, that requires emotional maturity. That requires curiosity. That requires patience. That requires humility and a willingness to show your heart. And that's precisely where so many people struggle. Once the physical intimacy comes too soon, our nervous system gets wrapped in a warm blanket of chemistry. Things become blurry. Red flags begin to fade. Compatibility gets assumed instead of explored. And suddenly 2 people are trying to build something meaningful while standing on a foundation that hasn't been poured yet. Friendship is the foundation. It's the space where you learn how each other thinks, how you feel, how each other feels, listens, communicates, navigates conflict, loves, heals, and shows up. It's where trust grows naturally instead of being forced. It's the emotional safety in discovering instead of it being hoped for. But most people will never actually learn the art of forming a friendship. I need to repeat that. The art of forming a friendship. A sincere friendship with a stranger. They jump from spark to bed to fantasy without ever learning who the human in front of them actually is. If the goal is a grown-up partnership, if the goal is secure love, then rising to love means slowing down. Spending time talking about your values, talking about your virtues, talking about your vision, your fears, your insecurities, and the dreams that you each have. Discovering emotional character, sharing the stuff that makes you human. Imagine if more people permitted themselves to do that. Imagine if friendship came first and chemistry arrived as a reward for emotional alignment. Maybe dating wouldn't feel so chaotic. Maybe love wouldn't feel so confusing. Maybe people would actually find the connection they hunger for. Love that rises is built on friendship that's real. So let's start teaching that. So I created this blog post because it occurs to me. Oh, and let me read you another part of this post, because I've observed that so few of us dating coaches actually teach how to build a friendship. Sure, we can teach attraction. We can teach you how to text this thing, how to make yourself flirt, or teach yourself flirting skills, maybe even teaching confidence. Those are all great things. To actually love yourself, like in my book, What the Heck is Self-Love Anyway? A Journey of Personal Development, Self-Help, and Spiritual Work. By the way, all the books I recommend today are listed below. We can help with that, but you know what we coaches aren't really good at? We don't really teach you how to build a friendship. Now, we just kind of take for granted that if we have chemistry for someone, we must already like them. If we have chemistry with someone, we might already enjoy their company. If we have chemistry with someone, we can trust this person. If we have chemistry with this person, we feel safe. And yet that is the weakest foundation for building a relationship. That foundation I talked about in the blog post of friendship. That doesn't happen overnight. That doesn't happen after a first kiss. That doesn't usually even happen even physically intimate with one another. Do you know where it happens? By building genuine connection. by building genuine connection. So as I said, I'm going to share 5 things everyone needs before committing to someone. Now, I am talking about a heart-centered, healthy, secure relationship, a heart-centered, healthy, secure relationship, because the reality is many people find themselves in unhealthy, insecure relationships. If you're not familiar with the work of the Gottmans, I recommend writing it down. If you haven't read Harville Hendrix and Helen Hunt's book, Getting the Love You Want, if you haven't read Attached by Amir Levine, Rachel Heller, if you haven't read Learning Love by Thais Gibson, if you haven't learned Wired for Love by Dr. Stan Tatkin, these would be fabulous books to understand how we oftentimes fall in love. We fall in love. It's an involuntary thing, and it's usually driven by lust or limerence, not genuine friendship. Friendship takes time to build. Please forgive me. I might seem agitated, but I'm excited about wanting to talk about this because this is where I want to lean into. How do we rise up to love? How do we rise instead of fall? And my hope is by sharing these things with you, you will actually, and I invite you to grab a pen and paper right now, you will actually experience something that's from the heart that actually develops friendship with another person. I want you to think about this for a second. I want you to ask yourself, can you say to this other person you're with, I like you like you? I mean, I like you, or I like you. I want you to think about that, liking someone, enjoying someone's company, really enjoying it, not because you're trying to impress yourself, not because you're trying to prove yourself, but you genuinely enjoy this person's company. So what are these 5 things we're talking about? Well, the first one, and by the way, this is no particular order, but the first one is emotional safety. The ability to be your unapologetic self without fear of judgment, where the truth is welcome, not punished. Let me repeat that for a second. Your unapologetic self, meaning you can be your genuine self, warts and all. The good, the bad, and even the ugly. Do you know what that feels like? I want you to really sit with that thought for a second. And I want you to, as you ruminate on that thought for a second, what does it feel like? Because it's now a thought. I'm planting the seed, that thought inside of you. And I want you to feel into, what does it feel like to be your unapologetic self? I know for me, it feels calm. Feels peaceful. It feels like a blessing. It feels like I don't have to hide anymore. I don't have to wear a mask. I don't have to perform. I don't have to prove myself to you. Our current dating environment is all about men must climb to the highest room of the tallest tower, and a woman must dress sexy to get a guy's attention. That's some of the narrative. But our current dating environment is so performative. It's all based on performance. Performing for one another instead of actually building emotional safety with one another. How do you build emotional safety? You start asking each other some really deep questions. If you haven't read the book, 8 Dates by Doctors John and Julie Gottman, again, all the books I recommend are listed below. Highly recommend getting this book. These list so many great questions. And I'm here to, by the way, please forgive my yelling. I get so excited. But it's time to I'm here to encourage everyone. It's time to change the rules. You know, this is a new quarter century, 2025. Everything you learned in the past is wrong. You have every right to ask sincere, deep questions before you ever kiss someone. Before you ever get physical with someone, you have every right to ask questions to find out who this person is. I know many of you criticize me because I talk about interrogating people, but what's an interrogation? Interrogation is about getting to the truth. Now, here's the thing, and I say it a little tongue in cheek, but when I say interrogation, I simply mean asking unique, probing questions to get to know this person. Because when you think about this, let's just say The average person watching my channel is a 50-year-old person. Let's just say we have people in their 60s, people in their 40s, even people in their 20s. But let's just take a 50-year-old. And you're going out on a first date. You had 50 years of life before you met this person. 50 years of life before they met you. Excuse me. They had 50 years of life before you met them. To get a sense of who a person is, we're made up of those experiences. So to naively go, oh my God, you're so wonderful, you're so amazing, because you're amped up on the chemical rush of lust or limerence, it's no wonder it's a dysfunctional methodology today, because we spend little or no time building emotional safety. Now, how much time do you need? Every person is different. By the way, you can do it on the phone. You can spend every day 2 hours a day talking on the phone. And I guarantee you, by the end of a week, you're going to know a lot more of this person if you ask radically honest questions instead of, how's your day going? Did you have a good day? I hope you had a good day. Emotional safety. That's one of the makings of a friendship. Number 2, ease and enjoyment being together. Can someone write that down? The first one is emotional safety. The second one is ease and enjoyment being together. If you don't genuinely like each other, laugh together, enjoy simple moments, the romance won't survive the hard seasons. The romance won't survive the hard season. If it isn't easy to be with this person, if you're not enjoying each other, and I don't mean the amped up, I want to jump your bones, enjoy each other. I'm talking about, I mean, it's a little too early in the dating process to go grocery shopping together, but can you navigate grocery shopping together? Can you walk to the, can you even walk to the grocery store together? Can you drive together? Oh, by the way, driving is a great one. Spending several hours in the car with someone, just talking, because you are in an environment where you get to talk. Are you sharing a bit about your past? Are you enjoying the communication with this person? I want you to sit with this for a second. I want you to, by the way, I'm going to ask everyone a question, okay? I can't tell you how many times as a coach. And by the way, if you need support coaching, check out the links below to schedule a discovery call with me to see if working with a coach is right for you. So I want to share something with you. I've interviewed women, not interviewed, but I've had women hire me to do an autopsy on their past relationship. They fill out extensive questionnaire about the guy, and I give them some perspective on the relationship. And what's fascinating to me, they might have been dating someone for 3 or 4 months. They're heartbroken because the guy ended the relationship. And I said, I'll ask, were you really good friends with him? Did you really enjoy his company? And it fascinates me. 8 out of 10 times, the answer is no. They didn't really even like the person, but they are strung out most of the time because we take it personally when someone rejects us, or not rejects, but chooses the end of the relationship. But I want you to sit with the question. Ask yourself, in your past relationships, did you sincerely feel at ease? Did you really enjoy their company? And did you feel emotionally safe? Number 3, hours of honest connection. Hours of honest connection. Hours of honest connection. Friendship grows through the time spent, through shared stories, shared values, fears, dreams, long before sex or chemistry confuses everything. Hours and hours of conversation. That's how you build friendship. Think of the people that are already in your life friends. Were they friends on the first time you met them? Probably not. Were they friends after the second time you met them? Maybe not, but I'm sure many of you had an experience where you met someone and you go, wow, you had an affinity for them. And then you'd hang out together and spend a little more time. You spend a little more time. You share a bit about your life. Why is it we do that with casual friendships, but in romantic relationships, we're fearful to talk about the past. We're fearful to ask probing questions. Why? Because we weren't taught this shit growing up. I'm sorry, we weren't taught how to build friends with someone. If you haven't read the book, where is this book? Oh, by Malcolm Gladwell, called Talking to Strangers. Now, I'm going to tell you something. You could probably Google this book, Talking to Strangers. You could Google this book and Probably go on YouTube and find everything you need to know. It's a thick book. But why am I talking about this? Because we're not good at talking to strangers, probing, finding out questions, learning to trust our intuition. How do we build friendship? It's through hours of honest connection. Did you hear the word honest? I don't care if you're a man or woman watching this. This is what is required, whether you're a woman seeking a relationship with a man seeking a relationship with a woman. Honest hours of honest conversations before you get the chemical rush going. But Jonathan, I'm a woman and I'm told to just sit in my feminine energy and let a man lead. And if we don't have chemistry, it isn't going to work out. Folks, if you haven't figured it out by now, chemistry is not the best indicator of relationship success. Friendship is the indicator of relationship success. Emotional maturity is an indicator of relationship success. Shared values, shared vision, lifestyles that are blendable with one another puts things, and certainly someone's character. Do their actions match their words? Are they genuinely kind? Do they genuinely build trust? These are some of the more important things to evaluate when it comes to a relationship. Do they seek to always be right? Are they clear about commitment? Let me say that. Write this down. Are they clear about commitment? People that are not clear about commitment act very wishy-washy. They're uncertain, and it creates havoc on the nervous system, as I was talking about previously. Number 4, align life vision and daily rhythms. Okay, aligned life vision and daily rhythms. Commitment requires more than feelings. It requires two lives harmonizing instead of constantly colliding with one another. I want you to sit with that for a second. Align life vision and daily rhythms. Ultimately, if you want a life partnership-based relationship, if you want a cohabitative type relationship, then your lifestyles have to, as I said before, blend with one another. Your rhythm has to be the same. You enjoy going grocery shopping together. My beloved and I passed the grocery shopping test a while back. It's interesting. We hadn't really ever gone genuine grocery shopping for months until our relationship got a little bit more cemented. And it's that simple thing. And it's interesting because I don't know if you're about me, if you're a guy watching this, but I've been in a relationship with women that are pain in the butt to go grocery shopping with, or maybe I seem like a pain in the butt to them. I don't know. But when you have a daily rhythm, that's when you feel like you're friends with a person. And isn't that ultimately you want? Is you want friendship on fire? You want somebody, your lover who is also your best friend? And last but not least, number 5, trust that's built slowly. When the physical isn't rushed, emotional clarity becomes possible. And you can actually feel whether this person is safe for your heart. Trust that builds slowly. Now, I'm not saying take months and months and months before physical intimacy. I'm talking about asking radically honest questions and check some of those important boxes of, hey, are they still hung up on their ex? Are they still married? Might be a good question to ask. Did they just end a relationship last week with somebody? Did they just physically have sex with someone last week, as an example? You know, asking these questions, it will take some time. By the way, I know couples who have had sex on the first date and they've lived happily ever after. I know people that waited till marriage and they were miserable a week later. This isn't only the sex piece matters if it clouds your judgment. Emotionally mature people can ask deeper questions very early on to determine that compatibility, that shared values, that shared vision, that lifestyle compatibility, and most importantly, emotional maturity. And by the way, can I tell you something? This is something I teach in my private coaching regarding discernment. You can spot emotional maturity very, very quickly if you ask the right questions. Again, it's something I teach in my private coaching. And if you want some support with that, check out the link below to schedule a discovery call with me to see if working with a coach is right for you. So coming back to those 5 things: emotional safety, ease and enjoyment, being together, hours of honest connection, align life vision and daily rhythms, trust that's built slowly. Thank you, Cindy, for putting this out for us. Is this sinking in? Is this resonating with you? Please let me know if it is. I'd like to hear your thoughts. Post a comment below. I do my best to read them all in the first 24 hours. As always, if you find value in my videos, please hit that like button. Please share this video. Please subscribe to my channel. Hit that notification bell so you can be notified of new videos. And if you want to connect with me directly, hey, there's links below. Schedule a discovery call with me to see if working with a coach is right for you. There's a link to join my group called Midlife Love Mastery. There's links to follow me on social media. There's links to even get my dating vows and join my mailing list, all listed below. All right, those who know my live format know it's time for Q&A. If you have a question, there's a little chat box in the corner. Write the word question, then post the question thereafter. Or you can purchase a super sticker, super chat. All the monies from the super sticker, super chat goes to a scholarship fund in the name of my son, Connor Aslay. Here's a picture of him right there with his brother, Colin. He's my son who passed away over 7 years ago. In his honor, we donate to causes like the Hoffman Process Insight Institute and scholarships to coaching. And our goal, hey, let's try to get $50, okay? So, hey, if 10 of you donated $5, we'd get there real quickly. All right. Hey, Angela wants to point out, superficial relationships don't go anywhere. You know, and yet the average relationship today is built on such a weak foundation. It shocks me how some people, it's interesting at the time of recording this, it's Thanksgiving. And I know men who have said, oh my God, you're so amazing. Let's go to my family for Thanksgiving. This was 3 weeks before Thanksgiving. And all of a sudden they're like, this ain't going to work for me. You know, why because it was superficial to begin with. It wasn't built on friendship. It wasn't built on honest connection with one another, of building hours and hours of honest connection outside of the physical part. I do remember a while back, I did have a date with a woman where the chemistry was off the charts. We were kissing literally as soon as we met. And now we had known each other for a while. But and it was all centered on the physical connection. Well, she's an emotionally mature person. I'd like to think I'm an emotionally mature person. We weren't aligned with each other. Hence why it didn't work out. But we rushed the chemistry. We rushed the physical connection because there was intense chemistry. I think it's Marianne Williams said, if there's intense chemistry, what should you do? Run, run, run away. And coming back to Cindy points out something, emotional safety, being able to be your unapologetic self. I want someone to sit with that for a second. What does it mean to be your unapologetic self? Lean into that feeling. God, it's so freeing. I want you to think about how freeing that is to just be your genuine self. Look back at all your relationships right now. Look back at every single experience you ever had with somebody you ever kissed. Could you be your unapologetic self? Could you be your sincere self? Could you be your silly? Could you be your 6-year-old? I can be my spastic 6-year-old with my beloved. Can you be that? Have you been that? It'd be interesting to hear. All right. If you have a question, write the word question and post the question thereafter. Or as I said before, you can, if someone wants to join me on the Love Seat, I just post a link right now. If you'd like to join me live, this would be fun to have a conversation with you right now. We can talk about whether or not, I can talk about anything, whatever I can do to help you, whatever I can do to make your relationship, the relationship of your dreams, to help you attract the kind of relationship. Hey, I just posted a link. Be brave. Click it. Let's jump on. Let's have a conversation. That might be some fun. So coming back to this conversation, the 5 things everyone needs before they fully commit. This emotional safety. Feel into that. Put your hand on your heart. What does it feel like to feel emotional safety? Put your hand on your heart. What does ease and enjoyment being together feel like for you? I invite you to write down what it feels like. Hours and hours of honest connection. What does that feel like? Align life vision, daily rhythms. What does that feel like for you? And trust that's built slowly. It feels calming. It feels grounding. It feels sensational. It feels freeing. Look, in fact, I'll even pull up the feelings list here. Okay, since we just talked about feelings, you can, by the way, go to Google, type in Hoffman Process Feelings List. Someone write it down in the chat box, Hoffman Process Feelings List. But let's think about feelings: calm, centered, content, fulfilled, patient, peaceful, present, relaxed, serene, trusting. Many of you feel the following: agitated, aggravated, bitter, contempt, cynical, disdain, disgruntled, disturbed, edgy, exasperated. How about feeling amazed, awe, bliss, delightful, eager, ecstatic, enchanted? Imagine that feeling. Invigorated, lively, passionate, playful. Oh, I love those. Radiant, refreshed. Worthy, warm, safe, present. We said some of those. Fulfilled, empathy, compassion, acceptance. Do you know what it's like to be with someone who accepts you for who you are, that unapologetic self, that 6-year-old in you that could be even spastic? And I use the term spastic only because I think I am, so that's in reference to me. Tell me what that feels like for you. Margaret wrote down, after a year of an amazing relationship, had to leave the country. He didn't talk about progress and acted totally cold. Do you think he was faking it or emotionally unavailable? You know, when you say amazing relationship, maybe we should identify what amazing is it? Because if someone is unavailable, emotionally unavailable, it wouldn't feel amazing. Like if it felt amazing, then I would think it felt emotionally safe. It felt ease and enjoyment together. Was he faking it? No, he had a fear center. So who had to leave the country? He had a fear. That doesn't take away from the relationship, but he had a fear around commitment. Again, if you're saying to me, amazing relationship, only the amazing relationships are the one where there's emotional safety, there's ease and enjoyment, there's trust. Those are the amazing relationships. If you're saying it was amazing and you're asking emotional unavailability, I think this was probably more to do with his capacity to commit. He had a fear of commitment. A lot of men want the benefits of a relationship, but have a fear of commitment. If you're not familiar with my chart, the three people actively dating, there's the users, representing about 20%, the spenders, which represent 60%, and the grower builders. So do a zoom in, read this chart. I'll read it for you. The users, they have short-term goals. Love bombers, players, gold diggers, entitled, selfish people. They only care about themselves. Those are the users. The grower builders seek long-term commitment, emotionally grown up, good relationship skills, have their act together. And the spenders, they want companionship, connection, and sex, but they don't have their life together. Their life is disorganized. They have uncertainty. They spend time with you because they want the benefit of your company without ever building the foundation for long-term commitment. But that's another conversation. Okay, Margaret, I hope that helps. You went on to say, I had to leave. He didn't commit. I walked away without clarity. So you walked away, but you didn't understand. But then why did you walk away? What was it that made you walk away? You said he didn't commit. What didn't he not commit to? Did he not commit to a life together? Then he was most likely afraid. And the clarity is, I'll give you the clarity real quickly. He was afraid of commitment, most likely. And Margaret comes back to say, thank you. That makes sense. I'm glad it did. By the way, John, look at this. We got a $20 super sticker from John. Thank you for the love. We appreciate you, John. That is so kind of you to donate $20. Thanks so much. John, why don't you join the love seat? We could have it'd be great to get a guy. Oh, John did post a question. Okay. Jonathan, congratulations on your new love in your life. Two very attractive people connecting. My question is, can you say that this lady really sees you and hears you? So for those watching, really quickly, let me just share something with you. This is a photograph of her and I together. Okay. I'll do that a little bit closer. Sorry for the glare. That's her and I together, my sweetheart. John, I don't think I've ever felt this seen, this loved, this appreciated, this respected, this accepted. Did I say accepted? She demonstrates her full heart to me through acts of service, through quality time, through physical touch, through words of affirmation. I'm a little bit of a words of adoration, by the way. I'm a Leo. And certainly gifts. She bought me a sweet gift. She went to Sedona recently and brought me back a little heart rock. It's on my altar downstairs. So to answer your question, to see me? Yeah. I mean, and here's the thing. I didn't know what this was until I experienced it. That's the thing about this. I really, honestly, when I look back to all my experiences, and I'm still friendly with most every significant relationship I've ever had in my life. I'm still friendly with them. And friendly isn't the same as friends. Now, I think part of it is, John, that we get each other. It's kind of funny because we laugh at each other's jokes. We like the same things we watch the same Netflix. I mean, we have a lot of things in common, which makes it really easy to be, and we're aligned on so many of our values and our principles and our ideologies and our belief system. It makes it so much easier to feel seen. Oftentimes through our differences where there's a lack of acceptance. You know, sometimes when there's a difference with someone, we reject it if there's a difference. I mean, we have to learn to at least tolerate, understand, and accept a difference to even be in a state of love. But a lot of people, they don't, they just are in mere resentment over a difference. And they never build that deeper sense of trust through acceptance. Acceptance is such a key, John. And I recognize you said good for you. I'm 71 and truly have never had that. I get it. Dude, I'm in my 60s. It took me this long to get this. But it's not impossible, John. It is not impossible to get. Maybe you might need some help. So check out a link below to schedule a discovery call with me, okay? It's in the show notes. Just you can have a free call with me to see if working with a coach is right for you. But, you know, by the way, John, there is an abundance of women out there, an abundance of women who are searching for great guys. There's an abundant, I mean, truth be told, if you are a genuine heart-centered guy, you got your act together, you keep yourself in halfway decent shape, you show up presentable, you have a greater chance of getting into a relationship. Now, we can certainly listen to the red pill community, and it's all about the top 5% of guys and that sort of thing. But believe me, there are women out there, 71 years old, thirsty. By the way, did you watch The Golden Bachelor and The Golden Bachelorette? There is an abundance of amazing women. Follow my channel. There are tons of amazing women, even on my channel, that are so ready for the kind of relationship you seek. So, Joe Daisy wants to jump on. She says, well, hello, all. I rarely catch you live anymore. We miss you, Joe Daisy, and we're glad you're on tonight. So thank you so much. So, John, hey, why don't you join us live, John? It would be fun. The ladies would be so ecstatic. And by the way, you might meet some women through this right now. I just posted a link. Why don't you join us live? We'll have a conversation. You'd be surprised at the amount of wonderful women out there. I know, listen, women can be stuck in their egos just like guys. I get it. It can be frustrating, but don't look for the top 10% woman that, I mean, from a looks perspective, look for the woman who you can tell their heart from what they shared, maybe through social media, through dating profiles and that sort of thing. All right. Hey, if you have a question, write the word question and post the question there after. Or like you can do what like John did. You can purchase a super sticker, super chat. All the monies from the super sticker, super chat goes to a scholarship fund in the name of my son, Connor Asley. As I talked about before, he passed away. In fact, John was kind enough to give us $20. We only need 10 people to give us $3 each. And we already have 20, 30 people on. John does want to point out, pass on the live call for now, but thanks for the encouragement. You're very welcome. And once again, there are women, John, they're watching you right now. They will appreciate you. Trust me. If you show up with a heart center, if you show up being willing to be vulnerable, being authentic, being transparent, your actions matching your word consistently, you're kind and generous, you communicate clearly without being right, you don't use people, you're clear about commitment, you have your act together, as I said before, both on a physical and emotional level, you're not chasing sex, you've healed your past relationships, you're introspective, you have an examined life, you're protective and empathetic of women. That women will be highly attracted to. And you have a fair amount of self-love. What does Blade just write? Excuse me, BL made. All right. Hey, we're going to wrap up early. If we don't have some more additional questions pop up, just post a question below. Listen, we can be on for another 20 minutes if you're brave. Okay. Okay. Warm greetings from Poland. Wow. Must be early there, early in the morning there. Thanks so much. We appreciate you. All right. If you have a question, write the word question, post the question thereafter, or just plug it in since we don't have a lot of people chatting right now. It'd be fun to get a few more questions before we wrap up tonight. So I'm going to give it 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, it looks like we had a bashful group tonight. That's okay. It's getting ready for Thanksgiving. For those at the time you're watching this, here in the United States, it's Thanksgiving tomorrow. Turkey Day, as we call it. My hope is that you're all with family and friends. My hope is that you have opened your heart to love. My hope is you can take down these 5 principles I talked about and maybe build a deeper friendship with someone, connect at a heart-centered level. Oh, Joe Daisy says, don't go yet. I can't think of anything just yet. Well, I'm going to go pretty quickly, but we did get a comment. I'm glad I found your video on YouTube. I am grateful to hear that. Folks, one of the fundamentals in a genuinely great friendship, and since this conversation was about friendship, was being in a state of appreciation. John was asking about my current relationship, but let me tell you something about this relationship. We genuinely appreciate one another. We accept each other. We're affectionate towards one another. We give each other lots of attention. We give each other lots of attention, affection, appreciation, and acceptance. That is the multivitamin every relationship needs to carry it maybe forever after. John comes back with a question. What does chemistry mean to you? You know, that's a great question because to each person, it might have a different feeling. I think of chemistry as, well, okay, so here, let's someone write this down for me. John, write this down. First, do you have intellectual curiosity for the person? Do you have intellectual connection? That's one form of chemistry, is intellectual connection. Another form of chemistry is emotional connection. Emotional connection. In other words, you can speak from your heart. You can be vulnerable. You can be authentic. You can be transparent. Emotional connection. Certainly there's the physical connection and there's sexual connection. It's not just, by the way, sexual connection is different than physical connection. You can kiss someone, it can feel good, but they can be terrible in bed with one another. So sexual connection. I think having life, being an emotional grown-up, feeling a connection to their maturity, that's a form of connection. And certainly spirituality is another form of connection. So the chemistry, I mean, when you have off the charts for all of those, that to me is when you feel the spark of all of those, that's amazing chemistry. That's off the charts chemistry. That's heart-centered, hopefully it builds heart-centered intimacy, okay? Some people can have an emotional connection, but no physical attraction for one another. Does that mean they can't build something? By the way, here's the deal. John, this is a good, I'm glad you brought this up. Because you don't know me well enough to know that on my first meeting with my sweetheart, we didn't have chemistry for one another. We liked each other. We had an intellectual connection. We had an emotional connection. We had a spiritual connection, but we weren't each other's type. We weren't each other's type. And we almost blew it. And it wasn't until we built the deep connection through what I just shared, emotional safety, ease and enjoyable, hours of honest communication. And that once we kissed, the chemistry took off. In other words, the spark took off from there. So John, that's the way I view it. I'd be curious, how does that land for you? But that's the way I look at it, okay? So great question. Email says, what does it mean for you that both people in couple that are mature? Great question. What is maturity? I think maturity is your actions match your words. Okay. You are responsible in your life. In other words, you pay your bills on time. You're not dependent upon other people, from a needy type of place. What I say, your actions match your words. You have a level of compassion and empathy towards each other. You have genuine care. That's what a mature person does. At least this is my vantage point. You have victor consciousness and not victim consciousness. Here in the United States, we are swimming in the sea of victim consciousness. Actions match words, victor consciousness. You can fight fair when it comes to conflict. You can fight fair. As Debbie points out, mutual respect. Exactly. You genuinely respect the person. And that's a big one. I've got to tell you, a lot of people are strung out in unhealthy relationships. They don't respect the person, but they're attached to a person they don't even respect. So those are just a couple things that land for me. Okay. So thanks for that question, by the way. Live a healthy life is just commented. Currently talking to a man long distance. I prefer to meet someone locally. It's not happening. My standards regarding intimacy has scared guys away. Been talking almost a month. Haven't met yet. And a follow-up is, can long distance work when establishing a long distance friendship and build? So here's the tricky part about this, okay? What ends up happening is you can build an amazing connection with someone. However, a lot of people are doing long distance. I've been long distance communicating. They're lonely. They're hiding behind a screen. It's hard, they're hiding behind a screen. They're lonely and they connect this way. So what ends up happening is a lot of intensity builds up where two people have physical intimacy right away when they meet, and then all of the shit can hit the fan right afterwards. These are just some of the things that can happen. Genuine heart-centered connection is built through experiences and circumstances, not just long, deep conversations. It's not just that. Those are important, but they are built through circumstances, through experiences. What oftentimes happens for long distance, it builds something known as artificial intimacy, where you believe that you have a real, genuine, deep felt connection. As I said earlier in this conversation, a lot of people don't know actually how to build a friendship. They can have what they believe is deep, meaningful conversations, but a lot of times it's just artificial intimacy. Again, relationships that endure. It's great that you built that connection. That's fantastic because you feel most likely at ease with one another. Now you have to do the social activities, the hobbies, the mutual interests. It's spending time with family and friends, even traveling together. It depends now, how long is your distance? Live a healthy life. How long is your distance? Because if you don't have a plan on how to make the distance go shorter, then you're just going to have a cyber relationship. You're going to have a vacation bubble relationship for a period of time. And I get the attraction because right now you're in a state of deep conversation. That's great. Hey, I've got to give props to Debbie. Wow, thanks so much for the $50 super sticker. Hope everyone has a blessed Thanksgiving. Be safe, embrace your loved ones. Debbie, what a sincere, sweet gift from you. Thank you so much. We love you for that. Let me give you a big hug for that. Thanks for donating. God, we had $70 tonight. Thanks for the love. John comes back. And I'll get to you, live a healthy life. John comes back. Thank you for your definition of chemistry. I tried online dating for a while, got sick of the first message is hello. I know I can't stand that first message. Hi. How are you doing? Fine. How are you doing? Fine. I mean, it's like, I get it. By the way, John, you can go for the jugular right away. You can go for the jugular. You can ask a sincere question. Hey, I'm genuinely seeking a significant relationship, and I'm curious, are we on the same page with this? Ask a probing question. Cut through the bullshit. Cut through the chase. Get right to the probing question. Oh, Debbie wants to say, I love you too. Thank you so much. And she gives us a bunch of smiles. And Joe Daisy wants to give props to Debbie as well. Debbie is one of the sweetest, kindest, loving person. I just got to give her another hug. And live a healthy life. Arizona to California. Now, depending on where in California, you're talking about a 1-hour plane ride. It's a lot easier to do a 1-hour plane ride than a 5-hour plane ride or a 3-hour plane ride. And you could possibly even drive to one another. So it's actually Arizona to California doesn't have to be that difficult, but you better make sure that you have a plan once you begin a relationship with one another. Again, you're most likely amped up on artificial chemistry right now. This is the tricky part. You're amped up on artificial chemistry. And it is until, by the way, have them fly out, have them stay at a hotel near you, don't have sex, and meet one another just to see if there's something there. By the way, do a quick meeting. Do not have sex. Don't stay in either one of each other's home. Don't fly out to him, okay? Make him come to you. And then see, and by the way, then you'll see whether or not he'll stick through it. I got to tell you, can't tell you how many times all of a sudden a guy will say, at the end of a long distance trip after they got laid, you know what? I'm not looking for a long distance relationship. I mean, I live a healthy lifestyle. I can't tell you how many times that's happened. Meet and greet. Exactly. Okay. Joe Daisy just got in. I just got a spam text that said, how was your day? I blurted out laughter thinking of what Jonathan would say. Okay. When I get those scam text messages, how's your day going? I always respond back, oh my God, I've been looking forward to talking to you. Do you have that $300 you owe me? Do you have that $300 I owe me? That's what I would say. Where's that money you owe me? Last question. I had to TRYB, some dating app, but is most not easy to meet real people. I get it. By the way, I met my beloved first. Oh, John, if you're still watching, we first connected on Bumble, didn't go anywhere. We then reconnected on Match, it didn't go anywhere. Wasn't finally until she messaged me on Hinge that we finally got on a conversation. And then that turned into a meeting. John wants to know, have you ever been seen, heard from another woman before your current love? Not to the same degree. I mean, I've had women that have been kind and loving and caring. There's no doubt about that. I've had women who are kind, caring, and loving. I've had beautiful women. But to build this level of trust requires going much deeper than the surface. And a lot of times people are afraid to go deeper because they've got walls up. So I get that can be challenging. That's why the whole conversation was about building friendship through emotional safety, through ease and enjoyment together, through hours of honest communication, through aligned vision and daily rhythms. And lastly, trust that builds slowly. That's how friendship is built. Is this sinking in? Is this resonating with you? Please let me know. As Debbie puts, foundation of friendship is the best. Friendship is the foundation. Exactly. If this is resonating with you, I'd like to hear your thoughts. Post a comment below. I do my best to read them all in the first 24 hours. As always, if you find value in my videos, please hit that like button. Please share this video. Please subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so you can be notified of new videos. And if you want to connect with me directly, hey, there's links below. Schedule a discovery call with me to see if working with a coach is right for you. Join my group called Midlife Love Mastery. Follow me on social media. And I want to end with wishing everyone a happy Thanksgiving for those that stayed this way. And Live, Love, Laugh says, you meeting your lady is so encouraging. I'm happy you found each other. Thank you so much. Joe Daisy wants to jump in. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your beloved, your loved ones, friends as well, and all subscribers. Big hugs to you all. And I'm going to sign off this video as I always do. First off, giving myself a big, gigantic Jonathan Merrick of self-love. I'm going to reach into the camera and give you a hug of love if that's okay. I'm going to ask you to turn to someone, pet a teddy bear, a pillow, and give it or them a hug of love because hugs are a great source of love. And let's face it, we could all use more love in our lives. I want to thank John for the $20 super sticker. I want to thank Debbie for the $50 of love. Live a healthy lifestyle. Margaret, Joe Daisy, everyone that commented. Wishing you all a super duper wonderful evening. Be well. Thanks. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye. Bye.